Um, so we thank Prabhu once again from all of us. So please carry on, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving me opportunity to speak Harikatha. So we're going to discuss today about the glories of Bhagavatam. How much, first of all, I'd like to know how much time do we have in our hand? Rasavarna Gopal Prabhu.
I think, Prabhu, we have definitely.
How much, Prabhu? I'm not able to hear you.
To 1.5 hours, Prabhu. Up to 9.
1.5 hours.
Yeah, 9.
Okay.
And
so
depending on questions later on, we can see them at least up to 9.
Okay. So what we are going to do today is we're going to discuss the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam first. Then we are going to tell you about at least 3 techniques of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So there are 5 techniques which we usually provide. We'll see if that is possible. But at least 3 techniques of reading Srimad Bhagavatam on everyday basis. We can tell that, and then later on we can take questions. So that will be our pattern. Okay. Thank you so much. Let us chant the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayat Mudirayet Nishtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloker Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Janmadiyasya yatanvayaaditarata charteshva abhignya swara tene brahmaradhayadi kavaye muyanti yat suraya tejo vari mradam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi Dharma prodita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastamatra vastu shivadam tapotrayan moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va Pararishwaraha Sadyo Hridaya Vruddhi Atra Krutibhi Sushrushubbhistakshana Nigama Kalpatarorgalitam Phalam Shukamukhadam Mridu Brahma Sanyutam Vibhata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuravo Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandhamadhavam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschati Deshatarine Nityanandamaham Nami Sarvanandakaram Param Harinama Pradam Devam Avaduta Shiromanim Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Hemamba Divya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. So Hare Krishna. So we're discussing about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam from the Skanda Puran. And this is a very interesting pastime of how how Parikshit Maharaj, Brajranab and Uddhavji met, and with the queens of Dwarka. So Maharaj Parikshit once brought thousands of prominent Brahmanas and Kshatriyas from Indraprastha, and he actually repopulated Mathura. Mathura was completely empty actually. Vajranath was ruling the Mathura, and Parikshit Maharaj was ruling the whole of the world from Hastinapur. So once what happened that once it is said that Maharaj Parikshit, he desired to actually see Vajranath Maharaj, and that's why he went to meet Vajranath one day in Mathura. And when Vajranath's heart actually was filled with a lot of affection when he heard that Parikshit Maharaj, who was equal to his own father, was coming to see him. And therefore, Vajranath Maharaj also went out of city. Vajranath is the grandson of Krishna. So he also went out of the city, fell at Maharaj Parikshit's feet, and brought him to the palace. So Parikshit Maharaj, who was always absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, and he lovingly embraced Vajranath Maharaj as soon as he saw. And they entered the inner palace and they offered obeisances to Rohini, who was the chief of Lord Krishna's 108 wives. So the Balram's mother also is Rohini, and Rohini is also the Lord Krishna's one of the names of Lord Krishna's 108 wives. So all the wives, they welcomed the king according to the custom. Maharaj Parikshit also very happily sat on a comfortable seat, and after resting for a while, he spoke to Vajranath Maharaj. And he said, Vajranath ji, your father and grandfather had saved my grandfather and father and grandfather from great dangers. I was also fully protected by your great grandfather, Lord Shri Krishna. When Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb, Ashwathama, he actually sent a Brahmastra to kill Parikshit Maharaj. But Lord Krishna personally protected Parikshit Maharaj. So even if I wanted to repay their kindness, Parikshit is saying that I would never be able to do so. Therefore, I humbly request you to happily engage your subordinates in the affairs of the state. And you should never worry about protecting your treasury, expanding your army, and subduing your enemies. Simply engage in the service of your mothers. And please tell me what is the cause of your distress, and rest assured that I will dispel all your troubles. So when somebody assures you like that, that to someone like Parikshit Maharaj, who's ruling the whole world, and if he's assuring Vajranath Maharaj in this way, so hearing Parikshit's word, Vajranath was actually greatly pleased. And he replied that whatever you have told me is quite proper. Your father has greatly obliged me by instructing me in the science of archery. And therefore, I have not even the slightest worry. And I have, by his mercy, I have become very expert in military science of the Kshatriyas. And therefore, I'm not worrying so much. And I have been installed as the king of Mathura. And I feel like I'm living in a very secluded forest. And he was saying that the happiness of the kingdom is due to the people that live here. And I have no idea that where the residents of this place have gone. So there was an era when Vajranath Maharaj was living as ruling as a king. There was nobody, hardly anybody used to stay in Brajbhumi. So Parikshit Maharaj, he called for Shandila Rishi in order to clear Vajranath's doubt. Whenever one has doubts, one should always seek shelter of advanced devotees and get all our doubts clarified. Because till the time the doubts are there in our heart, we will never be able to progress in Krishna consciousness. Or I'll say in other words, we won't be able to develop unflinching faith if there are doubts in our heart. So Shandila Rishi had previously acted as a priest of Nanda Maharaj. So when Shandila Rishi received the message from Parikshit Maharaj, he left his ashram and came before both of them. And Vajranath Maharaj welcomed the sage and made him sit on an elevated seat. And Parishit Maharaj told Sandilya Rishi that everything that Vajranama had just said, the sage affectionately comforted them with the following. He said something after hearing everything from Parishit Maharaj and Vajranathji. So Sandilya Rishi said that, dear Parishit, dear Vajranath, I want to tell you a secret of this Brajbhumi. Now this pastimes of you might be understood how it is related to Bhagavatam. Yes, it will come. This is Brajabhumi. This Brajbhumi's pastimes where we are discussing right now. It will help. It will gradually come to a point where we will be discussing the glories of Bhagavatam. So please stay tuned. So he's saying that what is the meaning of Brajadham? What is the meaning of this Braja? So according to the ancient opinions, this land is named as Braja because it is all pervasive, and this land is all pervasive spiritual manifestation situated beyond the three modes of material nature. So he's saying that in this land of Braja, the self-realized souls and devotees who relish love of God constantly experience Krishna, whose form is Sachidananda, and Srimati Radharani, the daughter of Maharaj Vrishabhanu, is like the Atma of Lord Krishna, is like the soul of Krishna, and she eternally enjoys pastimes with Krishna here. So this place is a very, very special place. And Krishna's in Braja, Krishna's only desire is to engage in pastimes with the cows and the cowherd boys and the girls. And because he always achieves the fulfillment of this desire. And so in this way, he's up the calm. So there are he in this way he glorifies Krishna, he glorifies Mathura, he glorifies Brajbhumi, and after sufficiently glorifying them, he said that Vajranath, you should not worry about this, and please follow my instructions. And he says that establish towns here, establish towns, villages, and so many different places of intimate pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So establish that, and so he was saying that you will, once you do that, once you establish many towns, you will fulfill all your desires. Wherever Lord Krishna has performed his pastimes, you should go there and establish towns, villages, named after that particular pastimes. And in this way, you can render very nice service to this transcendental land of Brajabhumi. And establish your domain at Govardhan. He said that the places like Deeg, Mathura, Havan, and Barsana, you reside in these places and engage in the service of the rivers, mountains, kundas, lakes, kunjas of Braja, and you'll always remain very, very happy. And by my blessings, Shandila Muni is saying, you will properly identify all the places. I bless you that you will properly able to identify all the minute details, everything that reveals to you. So Vajranathji, by continuously serving Brajadham in this way, one day you will meet Uddhavji, and then he will instruct you and your mothers in the mysteries of Brajabhumi. So after instructing Parikshit Maharaj, after instructing Vajranathji, Shandilya Rishi, he returned to his ashram. And while remembering Lord Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj and Vajranath felt great ecstasy, and they were so happy that they have received some service, some instructions for serving the Brajabhumi. So now Parikshit Maharaj, what did he do? Parikshit Maharaj brought thousands of prominent Brahmanas and Kshatriyas from Indraprastha and repopulated Mathura. So Maharaj Parikshit gave respect to the Brahmanas and monkeys and who were already residing there, because he understood that they are dear to the Lord. So with the help of Parikshit Maharaj and by the mercy of Shandilya Muni, Vajranath gradually searched out the sites of Lord Krishna's pastimes, and after properly ascertaining the pastime site, he named the site according to the pastimes, and he thus established various towns, various kundas, various wells, kunjas, and gardens. So whatever you see right now in Brajabhumi, when we come to Brajabhumi, when we come to Vrindavan, and we travel across so many places in Brajmandal, we go to Nandgaon, Barsan, and so many different places. All these towns and kundas and wells and everything was actually done by Vajranath Maharaj. And definitely later on, again, there was a situation where everything was, and I mean, Vrindavan Dham was not revealed. Then again, our six Goswamis and also some of the acharyas from other lines also, they were there and they also helped in a similar situation. They were in a similar situation. They also did the same thing. They also found out the pastime places and their various duties and everything. So he established, Vajranath, he established deities of the Lord such as Govinda Dev and Hari Dev, and his entire kingdom became blissful because of devotion to Lord Krishna. So the citizens who came there, who were residing there, they also were glorifying Krishna, and so they were very happily living there. So one day, what happened? Lord Krishna's 16,000 queens who were suffering due to separation inquired without envy from Kalindi, because Kalindi, Yamuna, she was always very happy. But if you see Lord Krishna's 16,108 queens, they were always sad. So the queens inquired that, Kalindi, just as we are Lord Krishna's wives, so are you. But we are all continuously burning in the fire of separation, and our hearts are distressed with unhappiness due to his absence. But you are not in this condition. You are happy. Why is this? Please tell the reason. So after understanding the pain of separation, Kalindi, she replied. She said that Srimati Radharani is the soul of Krishna, and I am always engaged in her service. So due to the influence of this service, the pain of separation could not touch me. So all of Krishna's concerts are expansions of Srimati Radharani. And because Krishna is always engaged, enjoying with Srimati Radharani, all the Krishna's other concerts are automatically enjoyed by him. So, and he expressed that previously when Akrura, he came to Vrindavan, the gopis experienced similar pangs of separation. And although actually there was no separation, but it was simply a reflection of separation. But when Uddhava came and he consoled them, their pain of separation was destroyed. Now, if you are able to, Kalindi is saying that now also, if you want to free yourself from this separation, fire of separation, so if you are able to get association of Uddhavji, then you will also achieve the happiness of eternal pastimes with your beloved Lord Shri Krishna. When Krishna's queens were instructed in this way, they asked that at that time they were all hankering to meet Uddhavji, so that they could all achieve the great fortune of the eternal association of Krishna. So Krishna's queens, they said that, O Sakhi, O Kalindi, your life is glorious, and because you have never experienced the distress of separation from Krishna, we would also like to become Radharani's maid servants. So Kalindi, you have told us that our desires will be fulfilled after meeting Uddhavji, but where can we meet him? And so Kalindi, after hearing the words of her co-wife, she said that just before Lord Krishna returned to his supreme abode, he told Minister Uddhav that Badrika Ashram is a suitable place to engage in spiritual activities, Badrinath, Badrika Ashram. And following that instruction, Uddhav stays there and instructs those who visit him in the same knowledge that was taught to him by the Lord. And the Lord taught Uddhava about the mysteries of Braja, mysteries of Braja Bhumi, where the fruits of spiritual practice are obtained. But since the personification of the fruits of spiritual practice, Lord Krishna had apparently left this place, Uddhava also is not seen here. So since Krishna has left, Uddhava also has left. So being desirous to associate with the dust of Braja, however, Uddhava is residing near Govardhan. With his one Swarup, he resides in Badrika Ashram, and with his one Swarup, he resides near Govardhan at Sakhi Stali in the form of a creeper. So Uddhava is personification of Lord Krishna's festival, Therefore, go to Kusum Sarovar with Vajranabh and organize a festival there. Assemble all the Lord's devotees and start a big festival by chanting Lord Krishna's holy names and pastimes, accompanied by flutes, veenas, and mridangas. So, and Kalindi said that when you perform Prem Nam Sankirtan, Uddhavaji will appear there. So after hearing Kalindi's words, they all went. They were actually greatly pleased, and they offered their respects to Kalindi, and they told Vajranabh and Parikshit, and everybody, all of them, they went to Kusum Sarovar, and they organized a big festival there of Sankirtan, Nam Sankirtan festival. And as they glorified Lord Krishna at that place, where he always enjoyed pastimes with his beloved, the daughter of Rishbhanu, the place was transformed into an extraordinary place, extraordinary scene. The divine dham was revealed, and from the midst of the grass, from the midst of the creepers, Sri Uddhavji appeared there in front of everyone. So his complexion, Uddhavji's complexion, how was it? It was bluish, and he wore yellow garments. He was decorated with a garland of forest flowers and gunjas, and he repeatedly glorified Krishna. So the beauty of the Sankirtan festival increased many times when Uddhavji appeared there. And everyone merged in an ocean of his appearance there, and they forgot that what they were doing. And they all regained excellent consciousness. They saw Uddhavji was actually looking exactly like Krishna. So when Uddhavji, when he seeing everyone engaged in glorifying Krishna, Uddhavji, he offered respects to all the devotees there. And he met Parikshit Maharaj, he met Vajranabhji. And Uddhavji said that you're all glorious devotees. You're all glorious devotees. Your desire has been fulfilled by your undivided devotional service to Lord Krishna. It is your good fortune that you have incomparable affection for Vajranabh and Krishna's queens. So this is he actually spoke to Parikshit Maharaj these things, that you have so much devotion and so much affection for Vajranabh and Krishna's queens, and this is quite proper because Lord Krishna has given you his body and power. So Uddhavji is saying that amongst the residents of Dwarka, these people are very glorious, and there is no doubt about it. And Lord Krishna has ordered Arjuna to escort them to Braja, and that's why they are here. So Vajranabh Maharaj, Uddhavji, when he saw Vajranabh Maharaj, he was very, very pleased, very, very happy to see him. And he said that the full moon like Krishna, who possesses 64 prominent qualities, is constantly staying in this land of Braja. O King, the right foot of Lord Krishna is the residence of Vajranabh, and who destroys the fear of his subordinates. So he said that there is no doubt that when one takes shelter of this holy dham of Brajabhumi, one will get Krishna, and Krishna is manifested in the hearts of everyone. And when Lord Hari personally appears at the end of Dwapar Yuga in the 28th cycle and lifts and he actually helps the people who come here with his transcendental pastimes, with revealing his transcendental pastimes. So when Lord he explained that he very clearly explained that in his incarnation Lord Krishna has bewildered everyone through his Yogamaya potency, and because of her influence, what has happened that everyone has forgotten their constitutional position and they appear miserable. So there is no doubt about it. So Krishna's manifesting in one's heart. No one can realize his without Krishna being manifesting in everyone's heart. No one can realize actually one's constitutional position. So Krishna's manifestation within the hearts of living entities is actually covered by Maya. And when Lord Hari personally appears in this world, his mission is to attract the conditioned souls towards him. So when the Lord appears, he performs pastimes, and by performing that pastimes, everyone gets attracted to him. and by that he lifts the cover of Maya. So Parikshit Maharaj, the time of those manifest pastimes has just ended. Krishna has just went back. And therefore, I will now tell you the means of having Krishna's manifest within one's heart. All of us, we want that Krishna to be manifest in our heart. So when Lord Krishna is manifest, he will appear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's telling to Parikshit Maharaj that whenever and wherever the devotee Bhagavat hears and recites the book of Bhagavat, at that time and at that place, Lord Krishna personally appears. Wherever a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam or even a half verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is recited, Lord Krishna and his beloved gopis manifest there. After attaining a human birth in the land of Bharat Bhumi, those who do not hear Srimad Bhagavatam due to sinful activities are actually committing suicide. A person, Uddhavji is saying that a person who regularly hears or recites Srimad Bhagavatam delivers the forefather and not only forefather but also the forefathers of his wife, mother, father, everybody. Uddhavji is saying by studying and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the Brahmanas are enlightened with knowledge, Kshatriyas achieve victory over their enemies, Vaishyas acquire wealth, and Shudras are freed from deceit. Women, they achieve all the fulfillments of their desire by serving Srimad Bhagavatam. And so what fortunate person will not regularly chant and hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Uddhavji is saying that to Parikshit Maharaj and everybody that after many lifetimes of performing pious activities, when a person achieves full perfection, then he obtains the Srimad Bhagavatam. By reading Srimad Bhagavatam, one's devotional sentiments are awakened, and Lord Krishna is manifest within the heart. Long time ago, Brahaspati ji, who is the spiritual master of the Devatas, he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of Sankhyana Rishi. And Brahaspati has narrated the same to me, Uddhavji is saying. And I was therefore able to become the dear friend of Lord Krishna because of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Brahaspati has told me one story. From this story, one can know the method of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the proper authority. Uddhavji, Brahaspati ji once said to Uddhavji that when Lord Krishna accepted the Purusha incarnation and glanced over the material nature to create the three personalities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, they all appeared along with the three modes of material nature of Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So Lord Krishna then assigned the work of creation and maintenance and destruction to the three predominating deities. And Lord Brahma appeared from the lotus sprout from the navel of the Lord. So Brahmaji said, my dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. Because you lie in the transcendental water known as Nara, you are known as Narayana. And as the original cause of everything, you are the Adi Purusha, the original person. Oh Lord, although I'm sinful and full of mode of passion, you have engaged in the service of creation. I pray for your blessing. So Brahaspati ji is saying that after Brahma offered this prayer to Narayana, at that time, the Lord gave Brahma the Srimad Bhagavatam and told him to achieve fulfillment of your desires, always serve this Srimad Bhagavatam. And on receiving Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma was greatly pleased. In order to attain Lord Krishna and penetrate the seven coverings, he recited Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. All Brahma's desires were fulfilled by serving Srimad Bhagavatam for that 7-day sacrifice. Since then, he has always been engaged in expanding the creation, and repeatedly Brahmaji also recites Srimad Bhagavatam. So, so like Brahmaji, even Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, he said that I accept the paths of pravritti and nivritti due to the need for the fruitive activities and philosophical knowledge. So following your order, I will duly maintain the living entities. In the due course of time, whenever there is a decline in religious principle, I will accept various incarnations in order to re-establish the principles of religion. And I will certainly award the fruits of their sacrifice to those who desire material enjoyment. And I will award 5 kinds of liberation. But please tell me how to maintain, my dear Lakshmi, and those who have no desire for 5 kinds of liberation. So Lord Narayana told Lord Vishnu that in order to achieve the fulfillment of all your desires, you just recite Bhagavatam. And Lord Vishnu was very pleased to receive the instructions from Lord Narayana. And he engaged every month along with Lakshmi Devi in the recitation of Bhagavatam. When you see Lakshmi ji has been always pressing the feet of the Lord, and what they might be discussing. So they are discussing also Srimad Bhagavatam. Although it's Krishna's own pastimes, Lord's own pastimes, but they're discussing that. So whenever Lakshmi Devi speaks Bhagavatam, Lord Vishnu listens. And when Lord Vishnu speaks, Lakshmi ji listens. So it takes 2 months to relish the mellow of Srimad Bhagavatam. So at that time, the taste of the topics becomes extremely palatable. So the topics of the Bhagavatam are therefore more elaborately manifest in the heart when they're discussed very nicely. So thereafter, the Lord engaged Lord Shiva in the work of annihilation. And in order to expand his own ability, Lord Shiva also prayed to the Lord. Lord Shiva said that I have the power to engage in these 3 types of destructions: perpetual destruction, occasional destruction, partial destruction. But oh Lord, I have no power at all for the final destruction. So I'm very unhappy. So hearing the prayers of Rudra, Lord Narayana also instructed him to on the topics of Bhagavatam. And Sri Rudradev then conquered the modes of ignorance just by serving Bhagavatam. Sadashiva Rudra then recited Bhagavatam over a period of 1 year. And thus he attained the power of final destruction. So Uddhavji said that I have heard these glories of Bhagavatam from the mouth of Brahaspati, my Gurudev. And now I want to offer my respectful obeisance to him, and for I have become happy by hearing the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, according to Vaishnava tradition, I served Srimad Bhagavatam for just 1 month. And due to the influence of this service, I have become the dear friend of Lord Krishna. And he therefore sent me to Vrindavan to serve his beloved gopis. Although Krishna eternally enjoys pastimes in Vrindavan, his beloved gopis were afflicted by the feelings of separation. And he therefore sent me to impart the teachings of Bhagavatam to gopis. So the gopis of Braja, the gopis of Vrajabhumi, were thus freed from the pains of separation by accepting the teachings of Bhagavatam according to their own intelligence. So Krishna sent Uddhava with Srimad Bhagavatam, with the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam just doesn't mean this 18,000 verses here, devotees. Bhagavatam means anything coming out from the lips of the pure devotees is Bhagavatam. And Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, everything is in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, it just doesn't mean that what Shukdev Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parishit. Don't limit Bhagavatam to just that. Bhagavatam is unlimited. So, but yes, what we have is also Bhagavatam. And anything which is in relation with Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes is also Srimad Bhagavatam. So as a result of that instructions, my intelligence became okay, sorry. When the so the gopis also, they heard Srimad Bhagavatam. So even though I do not understand, even though I do not understand the mystery of Bhagavatam, still I have experienced the wonder of this great literature. So headed by Lord Brahma, demigods prayed to Lord Krishna that he shall return to his own abode at that time under a banyan tree. And the Lord personally taught me these mysteries of Srimad Bhagavatam. When the demigods came along with Brahma, they all went, and then in Dwarka, there was a big meeting, and then Krishna decided that, okay, we have to go to Prabhas Kshetra. So as soon as the meeting was over, Uddhavji came to Krishna, and he knew that Krishna is planning to depart now. He plans to go. So then was a very intimate discussion between them, and Lord Krishna personally taught Uddhavji the mystery of Srimad Bhagavatam. As a result of that instructions, Uddhavji is saying that my intelligence became fixed, and I proceeded to Badrika Ashram and attained perfection. Since then, I am living here as a creeper and also in Badrika Ashram. And therefore, I reside in Narad Kunda. I always reside in Narad Kunda. And the devotees will realize Lord Krishna by serving Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, I will now explain Bhagavatam for the benefit of the devotees of the Lord. And this will be only possible, Parikshit, with your help. So Parikshit said that Uddhavji, Uddhava, Lord, servant of Lord Hari, you should certainly narrate Srimad Bhagavatam, and whatever is necessary for me, I will do it. Please order me. So Uddhavji was most pleased on hearing Parikshit Maharaj saying in this way. And he said that Lord Krishna has left us in this world. And since the time Lord Krishna has left, the influence of Kali Yuga has become more prominent. Whenever auspicious activities are being performed, Kali certainly creates disturbances. Therefore, you should go out and subdue the influence of Kali everywhere. I will remain here by your arrangement and recite Srimad Bhagavatam for 1 month, according to Vaishnava tradition. So Uddhavji is requesting Parikshit, you go and take care of Kali Yuga and let me see Bhagavatam here. The audience will thus relish the mellow of Srimad Bhagavatam and attain the Lord's lotus abode, Lord's eternal abode. Now, Parikshit Maharaj was pleased by the thought of subduing Kali, but he was in anxiety. And he said, Prabhuji, I am eager to bring Kali Yuga under my control. I have no problem. I'll do that. As you instructed, I will do that. But then how will I hear Bhagavatam? How will I get chance to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? I have also come to take shelter of your lotus feet. So after hearing this from Parikshit Maharaj's inquisitiveness, Uddhavji said that, O king, there is no need for you to be worried. For you are the most eligible candidate to receive the Bhagavatam. People in this world are always engaged in various kinds of fruitive activities, and they do not even know the importance of hearing Bhagavatam. By your mercy, many people in this land will receive Srimad of Bharat Varsha, will achieve the eternal happiness by hearing Bhagavatam. The great sage Sukdev Goswami, who is the representative of Lord Krishna, will recite Bhagavatam to you. There is no doubt about it. You will attain the eternal abode of Lord Krishna, the king of Braja, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam will then later be propagated throughout the world. O king, prepare yourself to subdue Kali. And after Uddhava, he spoke in this way. Maharaj Parikshit offered respectful obeisances to Uddhavji, circumambulated him, and then he left to eradicate Kali's influence in all the 3 directions. Vajranath then installed his son Pratibhav as the king of Mathura, and he stayed with his grandmother simply for the purpose of hearing Bhagavatam. Then at that place near Govardhan, Sri Uddhava recited Bhagavatam for 1 complete month. So while relishing the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, the listener saw Krishna manifest everywhere along with his transcendental pastimes. The listeners could see themselves taking part in those transcendental pastimes. Vajranath saw himself situated at the right lotus foot of Lord Krishna, and thus felt relief from the pains of separation and pleased with the beauty of that scene. So all his grandmothers, headed by Rohini, were most surprised to see themselves situated as the effulgence and portion of the moon like Krishna, who inaugurates the night of Rasa Leela. So being cured by the suppression of the disease disease of separation from their beloved Krishna, they enter the supreme destination. And other people who were present there also disappeared and entered the Lord's pastimes. They all enjoyed pastimes with Krishna in the kunjas of Govardhan. So, so whoever chants or hears this pastimes of attaining Lord's lotus feet will certainly attain the lotus feet of the Lord, and all the miseries from the time immemorial will be destroyed forever. There's another topic which I would like to discuss with this topic is what is the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam? It's a very important thing. So the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam and the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead both are the same. What are those? Both are eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. So what is Srimad Bhagavatam? We should know. Whatever transcendental sweet words come from the mouths of those whose heart are attached to Krishna, those statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. One should know that Srimad Bhagavatam consists of knowledge, realized knowledge, and the Shravana and the four limbs of devotional service, such as hearing, chanting, etc. Srimad Bhagavatam is expert in eradicating the influence of Maya. So who can understand the authenticity of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the unlimited sound representation of the Lord? In the beginning of creation, Lord Hari, he spoke 4 verses to Brahmaji. And only personalities such as Brahma, Shiva, Lord Vishnu are able to attain the desired goal by merging into the ocean of unlimited Srimad Bhagavatam. So whatever Vedavyasji has described in the conversation between Parikshit and Sukdev Goswami for the benefit of the less intelligent, that is known as Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a very important thing that we are going to discuss now is about the listeners. Now there are 2 kinds of listeners actually: superior listeners and inferior listeners. If you have a book and a pen, please take it down. Note this. This is going to be very very life transforming, and it is good for meditation. So there are 2 types of listeners actually: superior listeners and inferior listeners. So the superior listeners are of 4 kinds. Chataka. Chataka is a bird. Swan, like a parrot, like a fish. And then inferior listeners are also 4 kinds, like a wolf, like Burunda. Burunda is a bird, like a bull and a camel. So we are going to discuss in detail the superior listeners and the inferior listeners. So just as the Chataka bird does not take water from any source other than the rain cloud, one does not hear any scriptures or so just as a Chatak bird, it has an habit that it does not take water from any source other than the rain cloud actually. So one who does not hear any scripture or book other than those related to with Lord Krishna is like Chataka listener. He's only interested in hearing about topics on Krishna. He doesn't hear anything else. So then second is a swan kind of swan. Swan can extract milk from a mixture of milk and water. So one who can extract the essential topics of Lord Krishna while listening to various other topics is called a swan listener. So just as then the third is the parrot. Just as a parrot can recite to its master and others whatever it has taught, one who can nicely repeat the topics he has heard from the scriptures to others is called a parrot listener. So just as a parrot, he recites to its master and others whatever it is taught. So one who can nicely repeat the topics which he has heard from the scriptures to the devotees is called a parrot listener. Then is the fish. So just as a fish that is situated in an ocean of condensed milk quietly drinks milk without blinking its eyes. You know, if a fish is situated in the ocean of milk, okay, and if it it quietly drinks milk without blinking its eyes. So one who quietly hears Srimad Bhagavatam while relishing the topics and staring unblinking at the speaker is called a fish listener. Then there are others like wolf listeners. So this is superior cortic category is over. Now we discuss about the inferior categories. This is wolf, burunda, and bull and camel. So just like the wolf, wolf, it frightens the deer, which is attracted by the sweet sound of a flute in the forest. So deer they are naturally attracted to the sweet sound coming from the forest or from the flute, So the foolish listener, whose loud noise create pain to the devotees engaged in hearing the sweet topics of Srimad Bhagavatam is called wolf listener. Then comes Burunda. So just as a Burunda bird that lives, it lives in Himalaya, and it tells others whatever instruction it has heard, but it doesn't practice itself. So one who teaches others but does not follow those instructions is called Burunda listener. Then there is a category of bull listeners. Just as a bull does not distinguish between eating sweet grapes and pungent oil cakes, the blind person who listens to everything but has no intelligence to discriminate between the good and bad is called bull listener. Then is the camel. So just as a camel rejects the sweet mango leaves and chews instead of the bitter neem leaves, one who rejects the sweet narrations about Lord and hears instead the mundane topic is the camel listener. So the speakers, they say that who is the topmost listener? The speaker says that the topmost listener is he who comes before the speaker, offers due obeisances, and is eager and expert in hearing the pastimes of Lord Krishna after rejecting all kinds of mundane topics. And he humbly engages in hearing with folded hands like a disciple. And he has full faith in the Lord. He is attached to asking questions, and he always contemplates the subject he has heard. And he is a dear friend of Lord Krishna's devotees. So the topmost speakers, who are respected by all sages, and those whose heart are attached to the Lord without hankering for anything else in this world. So they're all well-wishers of all, and they are merciful to the fallen, and they are expert in learning the truth by various arguments. So this is what is explained in the Skanda Purana about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is one more topic called as the 4 kinds of services to Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is Sattvic Bhagavat Seva, there is Rajasic Bhagavat Seva, there is Tamasic Bhagavat Seva, and there is Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. This is also to be noted. This is also a very, very important part of discussion. Sattvic Bhagavat Seva, Rajasic Bhagavat Seva, Tamasic Bhagavat Seva, and Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. So enthusiastic service. So enthusiastic service which is joyfully performed in 7 days. Usually there is a trend of having 7 days Bhagavad Saptaha, and it is a bona fide thing. 4 Kumaras, they have instructed this procedure of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days to Narad Muni. So it is an authorized process, and many have since years, centuries after centuries, this process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam has helped many people to get delivered. Only Prabhupada criticized the making business out of it. But the 7 days process is always an authentic process. So enthusiastic service which is joyfully performed in 7 days with the various types of worship ingredients and hard labor is called Rajasic Bhagavat Seva. There's a lot of detailed things are there in this 7 day sacrifice. A lot of things has to be done. So then comes Sattvic Bhagavat Seva. Service which is peacefully performed over a month or two while relishing the topics and thus increasing one's ecstasy is called Sattvic Bhagavat Seva. Then service which continues for 1 year, which is performed lazily yet faithfully, which gives happiness and in which both remembrance and forgetfulness are there, is present, is called Tamasic Bhagavat Seva. Service in which there is no consideration of time factor but continues on with love and devotion is called Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. Service in which there is no consideration of time factor but goes on with love and devotion is called Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. Now one might say that the discussion between Parishad Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami happened for 7 days. So it comes under Rajasic Bhagavat Seva? No, it comes under Nirguna Bhagavat Seva only, because although the hearing was only for 7 days, but because Maharaj Parishad's life continued for that duration only, that's why it was for 7 days. Otherwise, because it was performed on the platform of love, it was Nirguna Bhagavat Seva. So one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in any way, any place, the way one desires, either in Sattvic way, Rajasic way, Tamasic way, Nirguna way. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only wealth of those who are completely devoid of material desires and greedy to relish hearing and chanting the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is a medicine to cure the material disease for those who are indifferent to the miseries of material existence and desire liberation. Therefore, everyone should carefully serve Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is very difficult to achieve Srimad Bhagavatam actually. So the topics of the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are able to give all kinds of benedictions actually. One can grant one wealth, children, wife, husbands, elephants, horses, all the opulence. But by serving Srimad Bhagavatam with material desires, one can enjoy all the desired results in this world and attain the Supreme Lord's abode. Also, that is the glory of Bhagavatam. And one should serve anyone who is absorbed in discussing the topics of Bhagavatam with one's body and wealth. That should be that is what has been said by Sutta Goswami Pad, that if someone is serving, if someone is absorbed in glorifying Bhagavatam, serving Bhagavatam, then one should serve such personality. And by serving those who are absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the result of serving Bhagavatam. So this is the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you all have any questions, the glories of Bhagavatam are unlimited. There is no way wherein I can just go on and on for so many hours actually. So if you have any questions based on our discussion, we can take. And then I need 10-15 minutes to present you the techniques of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes.
Hare Krishna devotees, thanks Prabhuji for wonderful session, and I think you tried to explain us more in better way, because we were knowing the Srimad Bhagavatam, but how it originated and which mood and everything, so we got clarified now. So devotees, if anyone wants to ask any question or any reflection, please raise your hand and we can take few of you, and then Prabhuji will share his presentation. Hare Krishna. So it's complete silence. It means that everyone understood everything. Looks like.
No. There are other way around also.
Okay, Ram Prabhu has raised his hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Brajsundar Prabhu. Thank you very much for the wonderful class on glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. I would just like to ask one question, like, initially the narrated, I mean, in the prayers you read first 3 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter. So we can recite these 3 verses as a
Mangalacharan.
Yeah, Mangalacharan, is that?
Yes, but it is Vyasadeva's Mangalacharan, so why can't we recite? Vyasadeva has written this Mangalacharan, it is Mangalacharan. So we can also do that. What is the problem?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I have a question. Like there are many cantos, right? So,
Yeah, well,
which is the best way to read? See, if right now we are reading one shloka per day with all the family members. But somehow when I see that books, I just want to finish them. But if I read one shloka, I know it won't finish in such a less time. So even children also, if I ask 2 shloka, 3, I just want to see if at least if I read 3 for a day, it would be good. But as in the busy life, I wanted, see, I don't want to get blessings alone from the family. I wanted my children, our, children also need that blessings, and children also should know that reality of our pure, like, about Krishna. So can you please guide how to this question is like
that is our next discussion, which is that how are we going to study Srimad Bhagavatam? We are going to present 3 ways of studying Bhagavatam by which you can fast track it. So someone's mic is on. If they can mute themselves, we appreciate that. Yeah. Any other questions with regards to the topic? Out of 65 students, only 2 devotees asking questions. That's why in person is always good, because we don't know if you are all listening, not listening.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my name is Monica.
Yes.
My question is the same as Mataji's, but fortunately her whole family is engaged. With me, it's not the same. And I also always wonder when I look at it, the whole collection has been gifted by Yogeshwar Prabhuji to me. But, I started the first canto and then somewhere I'll, stop again. And there's no environment and aura to do it with the family. So it is again sort of factor which puts me back. So even my question is the same. Is there any way, or like Bhagavad Gita, when we did training for Bhagavad Gita, we did some major main shlokas from all the chapters, which made it a bit easy to understand, and then encouraged to a person like me, encouraged to read it by myself, at least try it. It's not the same, but at least try it. So same is the query for me for how to encourage myself and keep on continuing once I start and not stop in between Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. So I'm going to share with, thank you so much. So we're going to share with you the techniques now. Okay, so let me share a file with all of you on the screen, and that should help. Okay, just a second. Okay. Okay. So this is a Bhagavatam teachers training course which we give. I have taught more than 3,500 to 4,000 devotees across the globe. This course, Bhagavatam teachers training course. So wherein in this course we actually give the various ways of studying Bhagavatam. You can see various ways of studying Bhagavatam is there, and then we have how to give how and why should we make personal notes for giving classes, how to present a class on one verse. There are two methods of presenting a class on one verse, and how to give a Sunday first class, how to give a seminar on Bhagavatam, 3-day seminar, 5-day seminar, 7-day seminar on Bhagavatam. So this course is basically designed to help devotees study, prepare their notes and teach also. And then also we have a program. I mean, we give out a structured curriculum of how to summarize. I mean, how to start your own study circle. Of how you can start your own Bhagavatam study circle. So this is all in a course called as Bhagavatam teachers training course. I'm scheduled to give this in a manner. So then, okay, let's come to the point where in various ways of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So method number one. So method number one is the deep study method. Okay. So, okay, let me first explain you the deep study method number two first. Okay. So in this method, we focus on one chapter a week, actually. Now, let me practically give you an example. The first chapter, it has, let's say, the chapter one has, chapter one of Canto 1 has 23 verses. So dividing the verses 23 by 7, that is number of days we have. So approximately 4 days, 4 verses to be studied with purpose. So this is the way by which one chapter 1 week. That is our target. Focusing on one chapter throughout the one complete week, starting from Sunday to Saturday. Let's say you plan to start studying Srimad Bhagavatam from tomorrow, for example. Then you can start and you count one complete week. Let's say one complete week, and you have the number of verses divided by 7, and then 4 verses per day. Now, how to read with purport as well, that is also very of significance. So how to read that? Let me explain you how to read the shlokas with purport. Okay, let me take you to any verse. So let's say 4 verses you have to read per day. Now that's your target for a week also, right? So if you see in the book which you have, it has a shloka, the synonyms, and the translation, the purport. So when you are going to spend time studying the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, then study it nicely. Invest your time, invest your mind in it, and put sincere efforts in studying the subject matter. So the first and foremost thing is that to recite the verse and try to understand the original verse itself. How one should do that? If you are good with Sanskrit, fine. If you're not good with Sanskrit, you can still do that. How? By the word-to-word meaning which is mentioned here. Naimishe in the forest of Naimisharanya, like that. We should word-to-word the meanings we can connect with the verse. And in this way, one should try to learn the verse itself. And then you have a translation, then you have a purport with you. So, and while going through the purport as well, you should make some important points which actually have helped you understand. Understand that verse, understand the purport, and take a note of this. Always when you're reading, make sure that you're studying proper writing down what you have read. So like that, you can study chapter by chapter every week. So this is one of the ways of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. And any questions on this? Is this clear to all of you? It's a very simple way. Second week you can start with the second chapter. Third week you can start with the third chapter. And if you're already studying Srimad Bhagavatam, let's say some of you might be in second canto, some of you might third canto. So you can just switch to this technique. Once you complete a particular chapter, then just switch to this technique and start adopting this technique of one chapter per week. This is a very simple method of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. And second method, which is a deep study method, or which is monthly basis, that is selecting one topic of Bhagavatam, selecting one particular topic in its whole, in completely, and studying that topic for let's say 1 month. So what does it mean actually when I say selecting one topic of Bhagavatam? I hope the devotees who wants to study Bhagavatam are taking a note of all this discussions which we're having. So let's suppose that the appearance of Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva and the conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. This is one topic actually. So what you can do is, the formula is very simple. Add the number of verses in these 3 chapters. Chapter number 4 has certain amount of verses. Chapter number 4, let's say, it has around 33 verses. Chapter number 5 has 40 verses. Chapter number 6 has 38 verses. Right. So what you can do is you can actually add them together, and if you add them, it is 111 verses. Divide that by 30, and you will get approximately 4 to 5 verses to be read per day. So that's what can be your if you want to study a subject matter. Then if this subject matter is over for a month, then you can switch to another subject matter. The next month you can study 2 chapters, that is prayers by Queen Kunti and the prayers by Pitama Vishnu. So that can be studied. The next, or then if you will, if you wish, you can even further go to the chapter canto number 3 or chapter number 4. So like that. So chapter number 4, it has Lord Shiva's and Daksha's fight has been mentioned. So let's say you're interested with reading this 6 chapters. Then, and so 6 chapters definitely, if you it is difficult to study them in 1 month. If you can, it's very nice. But if you have limited time with you, just like you have time of say half an hour only, because this technique which I'm mentioning to you needs at least 15 minutes to 35 minutes per day. So yes, maximum 35 minutes should be enough. So in this case, where the chapters are more in your subject matter, you can divide them by 60, that is divide them by 2 months, and you can do and study one subject matter for the time period of 2 months. So like that, one can adopt to the studying of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So any questions? Is that clear to all of you? This is a simple way of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Any questions?
Prabhuji, I think this is very nice formula which you gave. So, it's how we can get this, whatever you have shown. Is it available somewhere?
Yeah, it is. I can share it. I can share it with you, and you can share it with all of you, all of them. Okay.
Yeah, because many devotee has always thinking, oh, 18 volumes, big, fat books. So how many years it will finish to complete? And always they don't continue. For 1 week or 1 month, they into wise read, and then they stop due to some other reason.
Yeah,
So if this formula we apply, then certainly after certain month we will finish it. So
yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask Prabhu?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, Prabhu, while reading Srimad Bhagavatam, the history of different devotees in different millenniums, history, Manus and all. When I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam in different cantos, especially Manus and the descendants of Manus, through their daughters, sons, descendant of Manu. So that we heard that it's actually Swayambhu Manu. Okay, most of the history. Okay, so Swayambhu Manu means he's is first Manvantara. Okay, and according to our philosophy like Jiva Goswami and between each one mantra there is this partial devastation. So and these days we see all those pastime places and all, we go, we say, and this is what happened here, there, and all like that. So but in between Swayambhu and current there are four or five manvantras left. Five, I mean, this is we are in seventh one. How can we understand? I mean, because this is, I mean, there were so many past times, but it all constitutes to this, comes to me in my mind. How can we understand this? In because whole in Bhagavatam, so many past times are linked with this. Sometimes I couldn't understand probably. Sorry, Prabhu. I mean, if it is
no
possible.
problem. Okay, so now your question is very, it needs a good explanation, but I can suggest you one solution, that to understand Manvantaras and all those intrinsic details about the incarnations and kaun sa time mein kab hua, when those happened, best is Laghu Bhagavatamrit.
Okay.
Laghu Bhagavatamrit is one of the, if you can, Bhanu Maharaj has also translated that. If you can go through Laghu Bhagavatamrit and all those questions about your incarnations and all the things you solved, which Avtara took place when, and which Manvantara, and who was the Manu. So all the list names of different Manus, and also which Avtara takes place in which Manvantara, and all the details will be clarified in Laghu Bhagavatamrit.
Okay,
and then when you read Bhagavatam, things should be very clear to you.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So I have a book with me. I have authored a book taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam actually. So this book is available. This is actually Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and more than 15 sannyasis of our society, they have read. They have given their certification or testimonials to this book, taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's available on Amazon. If you want to buy that book, you should definitely buy that book, and it has the glories of Bhagavatam. For devotees who need unflinching faith in Bhagavatam, this book will help remove all the doubts, and then it will bring to a platform wherein one can study Bhagavatam on an everyday basis. So this is available. I'm sharing that in the group link. If you want to buy that, you can definitely buy that on Amazon. It's a small book, but around 150 pages. But it is from the pastimes of Padma Puran and also Skanda Puran, and also writings of so many acharyas. Commentaries is there in this. So
yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, I bought recently this one. I have to study. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so thank you so much. Any other questions? Any other queries? Okay. So since there are no queries, then dear organizers, thank you so much for giving me opportunity to speak Harikatha, and I can take your leave with your permission.
Thank you, Prabhu, for such a nice, wonderful session on Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, as we know, it is nothing but Lord Krishna himself. And whatever glory we hear is blessed. So I hope by this online session, even it is online, but hoping everyone is listening and they got something as an intake from this session, and they can start reading Srimad Bhagavatam and understand its essence. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. If you want that file, please contact me in person to on over WhatsApp, and I'll share that with you.
Yeah, I will ask Rasanal Prabhu to contact and get it from you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Have a good day.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.